I know, I don't like it myself. If it's a Saturday, you can just about manage it, but a Sunday, you like to be relaxing and you like it done a wee bit earlier, don't you? Maybe 12:30 or something, no, 4:30. But
Yeah.
listen, Sky rules the roost, and it's on the same time as a cup semi-final, I know, in England, and it's just the right fit for what's man. If you're going to put you on the telly, they tell you when to play, no you, no opposite. If you want the money off them.
I know. Okay, Doc. Right. Okay. So the Rangers team today: McGregor in goal, back four of Tavernier, Suter, Davies, and Barisic, and then a midfield three, I think, of Lundstrom, Raskin, and Cantwell, and then a front three of Tillman, Fashion, and Morelos. Care thoughts on the team?
It's kind of along the lines that I was thinking. There's obviously with injuries we've got, Kent, Golson, and Jack. He's not really going to really change much for last week, and it's along the same lines. I think if we turn up, we win, but anything can happen. I'm a big fan of John Lundstrom, as you know. I think that ship sailed with me, so I'm hoping he actually turns up today, because for some reason, every time he's played recently, he's sometimes been like a man down, but that's just my opinion of him. But the team's along the same lines. I like the bench for the young guys in the bench. Hope they can get some time with Matondo back. I thought he done that week when he come on. It was only a glimpse of him, but I thought he done okay. So I hope he can get game time. I mean, to me, it's a dead rubber. So they should be out and when any pressure on them and just play football, because the league's gone still. I know they do it yesterday, but for me, the league's done.
Do you know, that's the frustrating thing, Mark? They drew yesterday. And I suppose if they had to win yesterday, they probably would have won, let's be brutally honest. But is it a dead rubber though, Mark? We've got a cup semi-final next week. The players need to be fresh. They need to be at it. Is this a dead rubber?
I think the only real thing that we've got, these players have got to play for places for next week. I think that's the bottom line. I think
is there still places up for grabs for next week?
I think so. I think Big Suter, obviously, he's looking, if he puts in a performance, he needs to give Beale something to think about. Or does Golson just come strolling straight back into the side? So, as I said, it's there for him to put down a marker. If he plays a blinder, it gives Beale something to think about. Same as Sakala on the left. I think it's where he's probably going to start and play. So, same again. Does Kent walk straight back into the side, even though he's probably not going to be here next year? So, as I said, there's definitely places there. I think the striker picks itself. I don't think we've got another striker, but I'd like to see the young boy Lovelace get maybe 20 minutes or half an hour.
I don't know. I personally, I don't think it matters how we play today. I think Michael Beale has got his team for next week. I think Suter could play a blinder, but if Goldson's fit, and I know this is going off on a tangent. This isn't exactly building up to the game, but it's been brought up, so I'll mention it. If Suter plays a blinder today and Goldson's fit next week, it's Goldson and Davies that are starting that cup semi-final, is it not?
I think so. I could be wrong, but I think Michael will go there too. I think every manager does have their favourites, whether they and the supporters' eyes are playing bad or not. Every manager thinks there's guys that they can trust, and we'll go back to he's selected for the other time they played, and we'll go back to Kent and Golson, and obviously Jack's not going to be playing, so that'll be the one. That'll be the good question mark with the park. GM put a good comment in about Kamara. I actually crossed my mind starting Glenn Kamara today. We're asking and giving Lundstrom a rest, because Lundstrom's just not doing it for me. But obviously he's went with John Lundstrom, but I just feel that's where we're weak at the moment. When Lundstrom's on the ball, he gives it away too much and he struggles. He just struggles with pace. He's all one pace. When he loses the ball, he can't get back, and his first touch is poor. And he's not a John Lundstrom you've seen 6 months ago. I'll tell you that.
That's not the way.
That's an away again.
See, I agree with you, Kerr. I think that I think Lundstrom. But the thing is, I mean, Kamara's been that far off the pace and that far out the picture that, I mean, you'd be mad to try and put him into a game. I think
he's still
that,
got a long contract, Mark, but ain't he? So he's won it. He can't just sell until an offer comes in. Whereas Lundstrom's only got a year. I don't know.
Listen, sorry, I forgot to close that door and the dog started going off their nut there. That's how I had to get up and go. But Mark, on that point, I get that Lundstrom hasn't played well, right? And if we had other options, I wouldn't have started Lundstrom in this game. But I wouldn't have understood starting Kamara either, because Kamara's done nothing.
No. As I said, for me, Kamara's Kamara's no kicked his ass all season at all, and he's that far out the picture now that I can't see him play for Rangers again. I really can't. I think he will be the first one to get sold in the summer. Do you know what? It's a hard one because on his day, what a player the boy is. The boy's been amazing for us over the years, and as I said, for him to such a fall from grace is it's quite sad, as I said. But it's almost as if his two pals get sold, and he's just took the huff. He's not interested. He doesn't want to be here. That's how it looks. So as I said, Matt, he's never going to put him in. I don't think. I think the only way you'll see Kamara is if Lundstrom or Raskin gets injured, and you'll see Kamara. But I don't even think he'll win the last 5 minutes here. I really don't. I think he's that far out the picture.
How's that midfield lining up today then, Kerr? Because like I say, I was reading that out, right? And you've got Lundstrom and Raskin, who are clearly going to play centrally. But then you've got Cantwell, Tillman, in fashion. So is it an old-fashioned, which is crazy to say now, but is it an old-fashioned 4-2-3-1? Is it a 4-3-3? How's the manager setting up here?
I think it just depends, Martin. I think you play Lundstrom because he can obviously Lundstrom can sit, but I think if the full-backs are pushing up high, which he wants them to do, I know they can do better at times, but he wants them to do. Then Lundstrom can drop back in the centre between the two centre backs who can then push out left and right. So maybe that's how he's in there. But I think when we go forward, everybody's going to go forward apart from maybe Lundstrom. Try to be Lundstrom the two centre backs because we have to break forward. We have to play as many players up top as we can because apart from Alfie, we need to get other people in positions to score. And Alfie, we know, is not the best goal scorer at the time. So we're going to have to get goals for our channels. And I don't know if it's been worth starting. And I know Mark mentioned Kamara and Sueda, but even maybe dropping Cantwell on me, asking and playing Midfield in front or playing Tillman in there and playing Matondo. Right? I don't know a different thing today because to me it was a dead rubber. I'd just like to have seen something different coming for the team, not just the same guys again. That we've seen them and know what they can do because we're all looking forward to next season in some ways because of a change. So I'd like to see guys who have not been given a chance because if we're going to be here next season, they have to be put places at the top. We know Aberdeen aren't great, but it's not so much how good Aberdeen are, it's the atmosphere, it's the pressure. And then that's you're giving them the guy a chance today. Then maybe when we're a deadlock next season, we don't want to drop points today. I'm not saying you want to get beat, but at least if you get beat, you can say, well, the league's finished anyway. But, you know what I mean? Just give guys who's never played there before that kind of pressure instead of just playing the same folk all the time, especially if we're trying to move on.
It's who the manager trusts, though, Mark, is it not? And look, no Rangers manager, no Rangers player, no Rangers team, no Rangers fan ever wants to get beat. And I don't know if Michael Beale's looked at his squad, looked at the players and says, I'm going to go with the guys who I trust will get me the result. Not even maybe so much the performance, just the result. Because not only do you never want to get beat, but you don't want to get beat and then go into a semi-final on the back of that, do you?
No, I mean, that's kind of obvious, but I think that
Thanks very much.
I think his hand's been kind of played for him anyway. The fact that there's injuries, so the likes I think Lundstrom's the only person that's really able to play that. Bar Kamara. So I think that he's went with what he's got. Basically, I think that our lineup is going to be pretty fluid. I think that maybe Tillman you might see him playing off Alfie or vice versa. I think they maybe be looking at some points playing two up front today. But I think that'll be very fluid. I think that the likes of Cantwell, you'll see him in the right, you'll see him as a 10, you'll see him dropping back into the midfield as well. So I think that moving forward, I think we're going to be really, really fluid. I think that even the likes of Sakala will start on the left, but he will switch across to the right as well at some point. So I think very fluid. I think probably Lundstrom's the only one that's really going to sit. Raskin will do box to box, what Raskin does. But as I said, I mean, pretty much we could all pick this side just with injuries and stuff like that. So I think that he's tried and tested with these guys, and that's who he's went for. Simple as that. I think his hand's been played for him.
Maybe I suppose I was going to ask about Robbie McCrory, but I think we'll probably see Robbie after the semi-final. But Kerr, I forgot your name there. Nicholas Moore brings up, hope Matondo plays a part in the game today and pushes on from his performance from last week. I can't believe I'm going to ask you this question, Kerr, right? But I'm going to ask you, is Matondo unlucky not to get a start today?
No, I don't think he's enough to warrant a start, but as in probably the manager's eyes and maybe what he sees in training, and if he took a huff at times, maybe he'll try to be the B squad, which we've heard. So I don't know if that's that or he's just maybe not been playing well in times we've seen him, but he does deserve a chance at some point, because obviously unless we can get rid of him, which I don't see he's rid of him because we paid a bit of money for him, he's going to be here next season. So we all want to see these guys, all these guys deserve a chance, and I know people are saying wait till after next week, but depending on the result next week, I mean, it's all ifs and buts. If we get beat next week, people, I mean, somebody said if we get beat today, people won't be out. If we get beat next week, there'll be a lot of fans saying, is Bill the answer? Do you know what I mean? So, listen, it's being a Rangers fan, it's the pressure's on you every game. Yeah, you want to win every game, but sometimes just when the pressure's off, you just let the guys go and play and give guys a chance at maybe think they maybe not get it and see how they do. Because if there's guys not going to be here, like we think Alfie and maybe a few others, Kent as well, and why keep playing them? I know we got an important game next week, I understand that, and games against them take care of himself. The league position doesn't come into it because these games are totally different. But games against Aberdeen and a lot, it's just a game of football against a SPL side to them, they're that good. I know Aberdeen say they got up for this and they got up for 4 games a season, but if we kind of got up there with a half decent side and win, then that's more to say about us and then less to say about Aberdeen, because Aberdeen are rotten in my eyes. They're not a good footballing side.
They are. They're terrible. But Mark, it just goes to show how quickly things change in football. We're sitting here debating whether Matondo's unlucky to get a start today or not after a cameo last week. But I suppose, listen, we can change our opinions just as quickly as football players can make us change our opinions. So I take it we expect to see Matondo at some point today. And also, by the way, Mark, if Matondo comes on, right, and has a really good, I don't know, let's say 20, 30 minutes, does that then genuinely give the manager at least something else to think about or another option for next week?
Yeah, I think that Matondo's a wee bit enigma as well.
I just asked you that question. Honestly, can't believe it.
I think the boy deserves a chance. I think it's pretty clear to everybody that when he was brought in to playing right side of midfield, right attacking midfield, and I think everybody that's done any sort of a research or done 10 minutes on YouTube knows that he's predominantly played the left side for his last club or the club that was in loan in Belgium. So I don't even think I think he started one game on the left hand side, and majority it's been played on the right hand side. And I think that any time he's played on the left, he's looked better than he has on the right hand side. So I don't know. I think the boy needs games. I think the boy's confidence was shot to pieces at one point this season. I think, as I said, wingers, that's they live and die on their confidence. So for me, I would give the boy a chance. I would like to think that he'll get 20 minutes today at least. I think Sakala will be absolutely brilliant and absolutely terrible today, like he usually is.
I was just about to bring him up, Mark, right? But just before I do, see if Matondo comes on and scores a hat-trick, he matches Ryan Kent's goals for the season, playing off the left. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say. But look, CGM Cares made the point. What version of Sakala are we expecting today? The rotten one, which is harsh, or the decent one? I would kind of change that question slightly, Kerr, and say, what version of Sakala are we expecting today? The inconsistent one or the good one? And I think the answer lies somewhere in between.
I agree with you. I don't think Fashion knows what type of player he's going to be today. I think he's a hit and miss every game. There's some things he can do. You think, wow, he scores a worldie, or you think he's beating him well, he's challenging, or he's taking players on, his balance is great, and other times he kicks the ball at the park. It's Fashion doesn't know what he's doing most of the time, but you have to play him because he can make a difference.
He's been one of our most important players this season, Kerr.
If he doesn't know how to do, then what the defenders struggle with him as well because they don't know what he's going to do. But he has been, and the run of games has actually helped him. I mean, I was probably one of the first to say he doesn't deserve to win the squad at the start of the season just because he was poor. But he can't knock back. He can't knock what he's done. He's scored goals. He's kept it goals. We all say giving 100% is great, but you want all your players to do that. So that's a must. but it's his stats that come up. I know stats. A lot of people don't like them, but listen, he's made a big contribution in a lot of games this season for us, and he's helped us win a lot of games as well. So I'm not going to knock him. So he deserves to be starting. So I just hopefully get a goal, which I think he will.
Sorry, Kerr, this is the point I was going to make, Mark, right? Do you think Sakala is better suited to playing away from Ibrox as he gets more space? I actually thought it was the other way about. We go to Pittodrie. Pittodrie's a tight pitch. Aberdeen are going to sit right back, make it as compact as they can. Does that make it more difficult for the likes of Sakala, Kent, Matondo, you name it, the wingers to get in behind and make something happen?
I think probably they'll sit in more when they're at Ibrox. So I think obviously the kind of what the question was kind of angling at was that Aberdeen need to at least get into the game slightly. So they need to come at us at some point. They can't sit back and defend when they're at home. Their fans will just know where it's as simple as that. So I think that what the kind of question was getting at was they might have a wee bit more room to run into space behind. So I think that's probably what they're saying. For me, I think that's what he's good at. I think if you give these boys with pace, something to stretch their legs and run, I think it will cause all sorts of problems. I think that's one of Sakala's strong points. But I mean, as I said, going off on a wee bit of tangent, I'd like to see, talking about Matondo getting 20 minutes, I'd like to see Lovelace getting 20 minutes, half an hour, would they? I really would.
We'll come on to Lovelace in 1 second, because I'll forget this point, because you know what I'm like, my memory is horrendous. Kerr, their fans won't want them to sit back. What the fans want them to do and what they actually eventually go and do are two different things. But then I'm forgetting it's Aberdeen, it's at home. Like you say, they got up for it 4 times a season and it seems to be against us. So do we expect Aberdeen to just come out and attack, or do we expect them to sit back, or what are we expecting for them?
They'll make it physical. We'll try and make it. No, we don't. I'll get a lot of passing them. They don't want to give us the ball. They'll interrupt the game. They'll commit fouls. They'll be physical. They'll play the long ball into channels to try and get behind us. They'll just make it half as over the park. They'll probably time waste at times. Do you know what I mean? So just try to get into your heads. They'll probably wind a few of the players up, because that's what they do. Because if I was an Aberdeen fan, which thankfully I'm not, but if I was, and it's not even just Aberdeen, but other side, would you not be gutted buying a season ticket or being a fan and thinking, why do you not play like this every week? Why just against Rangers? Why is it only 4 times a season? Whereas we get beat with St Mirren, we get beat with Livingston, Hearts, but there's Rangers. Let's beat Rangers. And then when you get that result, if you did win the day, you're happy for the rest of the season. And that's not much. That's not really a fan, is it? That's kind of pointless.
But I think for Aberdeen fans, I think all that matters is beating Rangers. I genuinely think it is.
It never used to be when they were winning stuff. Why now?
Because they're not winning anything. Megan is asking, who are the subs today? The subs are McLaughlin, Ridvan, Hadji, Matondo, Kamara, Arfield, King, and the youngsters, King, Lovelace, and Rice. Now, we've got literally 5 minutes left, guys, right? So, very quickly, Mark, good to see Ridvan on the bench. And do we expect him to get some minutes?
Good to see him back. Obviously, it's another wee niggling injury again. I would like to see him getting some time as well. As I said, it's not so much a dead rubber, but I think that it's time to look at these kind of players, young boy Rice, Lovelace, and start to give them minutes to see what they're going to be like, if we can use them moving forward into next season. I think that's where we're at. I think that obviously next week's game takes care of itself, but I think we need to start looking at these young players and seeing if they're going to be any good. So I think today, big atmosphere against a small provincial club, which obviously.
Did you see how happy they were, Mark, that they nearly sold out?
I know. So, but what I'm saying is, it's a good experience for these young boys to get some football against a crowd that's going to be paying for them. So I think that's, for me, that's, you fling these boys on and you see what they can do with that kind of atmosphere. And I think that's all part of the learning process. So I think that's what we need to do building towards next year. I think, like Kerr said earlier, I think the league's done. I mean, I think we all know that. I don't think we're kidding ourselves on. So why not? Why do we not try to blood these young boys? Get them some decent minutes. and give him some decent minutes in a quite a toxic atmosphere. Why not?
Kerr, Arfield's on the bench. Arfield, if he's needed, will come on and do what Arfield does. We know that. We've already spoke about Kamara, Matondo. We spoke about Ridvan. Hadji, it'll just be good to see Hadji get some minutes. In terms of more so Lovelace and Bailey Rice, right? Obviously, Leon King is a position at Rangers that Leon King's in. Bailey Rice is only 16. Just came into the B team this season. I think he's got at least another year in the B team before he breaks through, possibly into the first team squad. But obviously, Zach Lovelace is the big one that's been talked about. It would be good to see Zach, because I've seen him quite a lot this season for the B team. It would be good to see him get on and get a few first team minutes under his belt.
It would be, and you've seen him, I've not really seen him, Martin, so I'll take your word for it. And I know William's seen him quite a lot as well. And by all accounts, he's a talented boy. It's a big jump for these guys. They'll go in the park with no fear because they're looking forward to it. So I like to see him get some minutes, like to see him getting a wee try out. But I feel if he does well next season, maybe out on loan first. But listen, this is time to give the guys a chance. Do you know what I mean? Because they might as well give them a chance to see what they're all about. There's no point saying, let's wait and wait and wait. The time you wait, they leave or they're elsewhere. So I'm agree with you. I think we should give them a chance.
Yeah. Obviously, we'll be back for reaction shortly after the game. Today's reaction will be a phone-in as well for you to get your points across. Stu will be hosting, and I've got somebody sitting right next to me staring at me. Stu will be hosting. I'll be in the background taking your calls. So just before we finish up, I can't deal with somebody sitting right next to me staring at me, by the way. That's quite often. Predictions, Kerr, for today.
2-1, Rangers.
And
first goal, Aberdeen will score first.
Right, who's I hate it when you do that. Who's the first Rangers goal scorer?
The first Rangers goal scorer is Cantwell.
Mark?
2-0 Rangers. I think we need a clean sheet. And first goal scorer, Tillman.
He possibly has turned 17. CGM, but I'm pretty sure he's 16, but he might have turned 17, but it is his first year in the B team, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully he gets minutes. Hopefully Zach Lovelace gets minutes. Hopefully even Leon King comes on and gets some minutes as well, but we shall wait and see. So everybody, go and enjoy the game. Join us for the reaction, and hopefully it's a nice, happy, easy one, and we get some phone calls. Stu's in the hosting chair along with Mark, Kerr and James, I believe. So hopefully you can join us for that. So yeah, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Kerr. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you about 10 minutes after the final whistle. Keep the notifications switched on. We have a live show coming up as well. Tickets for that are in the description. I think we've got 21 tickets left for the live show. And if you want to help support us on Patreon and get access to loads of extra content, the link for that is in the description as well. So go and enjoy the game, and we'll speak to you all very, very soon.